A little close to home, around 50 people have been queuing, some since New Year's Day, to have their chance of getting hold of beach huts near Christchurch in Dorset. They're huddled in sleeping bags and picnic chairs.
Are we going to let me read?
So, sorry, yes, go on. You jump in there now, naturally.
Naturally,
without
as if there was no... Sort of Emily read my bit, I think. Many of them were doing relays with family members, so they kept their place in the queue.
Well, at the Australian Open tennis, Andy Murray has made it into the second week. He's yet to drop a set. He's not really been troubled so far. Today he swept aside Austria's Jürgen Melzer, 7-5, 6-love. And I can't remember the score for the final set. I'm sorry about that. I'll bring you that later. At one point, he won 11 straight games. Number 6-3, by the way, that final set, in case you're wondering. Andy Murray now faces the 14th seed Fernando Verdasco in the last 16. He's played the Spaniard 5 times and he's never lost. That's all your sport for now. Loads of valuable lesson then. When you delete things from your script, don't remove important numbers like...
Well, let's talk now to Lord Fuchs, who is a Labour peer and friend of the Speaker, and joins us now from our Westminster studio. The paper's savage about him this morning. Of course, as we were just hearing from Ross, a motion of no confidence in prospect. Do you think he should resign at this point?
Can I say, first of all, that the system of expenses and allowances clearly has been abused by some MPs of all parties, but not by the vast majority. And it is going to be cleared up, and it has to be cleared up. And the Speaker is behind that clear up. Now, you're making a great deal of this early day motion by this new member, Douglas Carswell. An early day motion is something that MPs put down all the time. There are over 1,000 of them, normally congratulating the local football team on promotion. And it really is a stunt, and I think you're giving it far more attention than it deserves. The Speaker rightly reprimanded Kate Hoey and Norman Baker yesterday for their disgraceful action in going to the media, talking to you regularly, saying the kind of things that they've both become media darlings, say the kind of things that you want to do without any thought for how it is affecting their colleagues.
Well, you say that, but without the media, we wouldn't at this point know that we taxpayers are paying for swimming pools, chandeliers, and all the rest of it, the moat and the horse manure.
With respect, you know it because someone stole the information, sold it to the Daily Telegraph, who are publishing it.
Yes,
day
but
in,
I'm
day
sorry
out.
to interrupt, but if Speaker Martin had done his job, perhaps these offences wouldn't have happened in the first place.
He is doing his job, and it was going to be published. But what has happened, and what he pointed out, is that some of the information being published contains the PIN numbers, the bank account numbers, private information about members of staff as well as members of Parliament. And the reason it was taking some time was to try and protect people from that kind of information getting out, but not to cover up, not to hide. And there are going to be changes, and Michael Martin is making sure that the changes will take place and that the system is going to be cleaned up. And, you know, it's all right for you, and there's your reporter shouting at cabinet members as they go in, making jokes about it all. There are far more important things going on in the world, in Sri Lanka and Somalia, and a whole range of things that you're not concentrating on, that the Cabinet fortunately is concentrating on. And it's about time the media recognise that this matter is a serious matter. It needs to be dealt with, but it is being dealt with now, and get on to some of the other important agenda that we have in politics today.
You talk about the PIN numbers and the addresses. They are not in the public domain, as far as I know. What is in the public domain is that the Speaker spent £100,000 of taxpayers' money running a campaign to prevent this information, the actual important information about abuses. Value the important things and are very concerned about the important things. They will find it hard to listen to lectures about belt tightening, about losing jobs, about all the savings that need to be made in the public services from people who are doing what we have seen over the last 5 days MPs are doing in terms of their own expenses. Why should the public go short of healthcare, of education, of prison services?
Spent on prison, on education, on healthcare. This is entirely...
So I'm sorry to interrupt you, Lord Fuchs, but do you think these people should pay back this money at this point?
You're not at all sorry to interrupt me. You're quite happy to interrupt me because you do it constantly. Every time an MP or a politician comes on, you constantly harass them. You don't allow them to finish. And MPs are going around the country in their constituencies doing a great deal of work. You never focus on that. They paid £64,000. How much are you paid for coming on to television, harassing members of Parliament harassing other people in this way. Could you tell me, how much are you being paid out of the licence fee?
My salary is...
freedom of information, what is it?
My salary
Yes.
is £92,000.